Welcome to the Justoid podcast. I'm your host, Justoid. Today we're joined by a very special guest, two special guests. We got Wilmo and Pasty in the building. Make some noise.
Yeah. Clap, clap, clap.
Where you from?
I'm originally from Chicago, west suburbs. Grew up there my whole life. Yeah.
What about you?
Originally from Naperville, Illinois.
Shout them out.
Yes, sir. Man, it's a nice place, but you know, trying to find my place. I just kind of got super into music, and you know, here we are now.
It's nice. How long have you guys known each other?
It's actually a crazy story. We ended up going to the same school, same college. We both went to NIU, and we randomly cross paths with each other I think 3 or 4 times before we really started linking up. Once was, I think you hit me up, or I met you at one time. You came up to me and said that you fucked with my music and shit, and I was like, oh, that's dope. And then another time I saw you, it was kind of the same thing, and then I had followed him on Instagram or some shit, and then I saw an Apple Music link in his bio, and I was like, what the fuck? So I clicked on the link, and then I saw that he made music too, and I was like, what the? I was just like, what the hell? And then after that, it kind of just was we kind of just crossed paths a couple more times, and then our manager, Jonathan, actually, he was in the same sorority as my girlfriend, and we went to one of those formals, and he had came up to me and was like, yo, your music's dope. Long story short, we were fucking in the hallway, and I was just showing him unreleased music for over an hour while we were there. And then he was like, you got to come through to the crib sometime. We got a studio. And it wasn't until I think 6 months after that, he finally hit me up to come through. And I almost didn't go because I was getting to the point where I was kind of done with music because I was just kind of falling out of it. I didn't really have a team or a circle. I got caught up partying and shit in college 24/7. And I ended up going to the studio that night, and the rest is history. We've been locked in since then, so it's been 2 years now?
2 years,
yeah 2 years.
It's kind of funny, the first time I ever heard about you was a couple months after I had moved to DeKalb. My girlfriend at the time, she had asked me, do you know who Young Pasty is? Because she knew I made music. So I was like, no, who the hell is Young Pasty? And then she had shown me one of your songs, one of your music videos. And I feel videos are your thing. That's what makes you look super professional. So she showed me that, and I was like, hold on, this guy looks like he's really doing it. And then I looked at your Spotify, and you had 4,000 monthly listeners. And I was kind of blown away, because at that point, I don't even know if I posted anything on Spotify at that point. So I was just kind of dude, this guy is doing it. He's that dude. But yeah, you were kind of known all around NIU for being the music guy. So I kind of looked at you and I was like, damn, I want to be like that. You inspired me. So I had kind of just tried to connect with you. And I remember, you probably remember that one time you had posted a show recap on your story. And at that point, I was super, super early in my music career. So I was deathly afraid to perform. So when I saw that, I was like, holy shit, I want to be like that. So yeah, I had sent him a whole ass message, and I was like, dude, this is so inspiring. I wish I could have the confidence that you have. And now we're working together. So it's pretty cool how that turned out.
Yeah, it's crazy how the tables have turned too, because when I got back into it, after not recording for 2 years, he helped me get better at recording, because he was taking vocal lessons and all that type of shit. And yeah, he helped me get better, as well as Wilmo's a really good songwriter. And after listening to all his demos 24/7 and constantly working together, I feel that has made me become a way better songwriter and actually talk about real shit, not just bullshit my songs anymore, which is great, because that makes a huge difference to gaining fans and people actually tapping in with you and staying fans, instead of just being damn, you got a dope song, and then they never return. Yeah.
People that listen to this show take gratitude in that for sure.
Yeah.
Because they don't like that bullshit.
Yeah. I don't either. Don't get me wrong. Every now and then it's cool to make a fun song, but if you want your shit to stay around and people to keep listening, you got to actually like put the effort in to make a good song.
We want to make generational music and not just like basic music that you listen to once and then you get tired of. We wanted to stick around.
Yeah, I feel like that's the type of music I try to make too, and that's almost why I don't drop as much as I do, because people will come and see the good songs performed, or they'll listen to the same, an album from a year and a half ago,
right?
Because it was so good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I almost don't expect something new 5 months from now.
Right.
And, yeah.
No, that's good though, because it's like when you drop good music like that, like especially being at the point where we're all at with being an artist, it's like there's so many people that still haven't tapped into you. So like you drop an album that's really good, and there's still so many people that haven't heard it. So, it's okay to not drop for a while, especially if it's, like you said, if it's good.
Right.
Yeah.
So what type of music would you describe you were dropping when you first started making music compared to now? And how would you explain the transition?
All right, so like when I first started, it was during probably like 2018. I was like a junior in high school, and it was more like, no, I wouldn't necessarily say drill rap, but it was more like harder rap, because that's just like what I was listening to 24/7 and what I was inspired by. Like growing up listening to like G Herbo, Lil Bibby, like L.A. Capone, Chief Keef, like all like the early like Chicago like rap stars, and like that just like what inspired me. And that's kind of like what started it all and made me want to like make music, just because, not only because I just love music, but like I wanted to hear myself behind the mic, because I knew I could like do something, but it just like, it took time to like adapt. I feel like it takes everybody time to adapt like their sound and shit like that. And over time, it's definitely changed. Like I've definitely gotten to that like experimental route, I think, over like the honestly, since we started working again together, I kind of just started trying like that punk pop shit, because like I grew up listening to a lot of like punk music, and then Juice WRLD's a huge inspiration of mine too. So like I kind of took from that and just like writing about like mental health problems, shit that I struggle with, what other people struggle with, and now I kind of feel like I've found my like lane with my sound and just like perfecting that. And I can definitely tell by the reactions I get now, like people are like, this is different, and yeah. That's where I'm at now. I'm kind of just like down that route of like, it's like I still do like the punk pop shit, but it's like alternative rap, I feel like.
What's up, guys? Justoid here to talk about a brand new podcast ad. We got Dr. Gadget. Dr. Gadget's a phone and tablet repair store with 3 locations in the suburban area. You can head up there to get your screen fixed, battery replaced, tons of services, man. They offer all types of stuff for your phone. They got screen protectors, cases, new and used devices. So what are you waiting for, bro? Head up to Dr. Gadget today. Use code RMRP or Justoid to receive $20 off a service and a free screen protector today.
So how much of your writing would you feel like is experimental compared to storytelling or like real raw?
I have like a bunch of like stuff I do experimental just for fun. But most of the shit I drop now is like real shit that's like happened in my life, or like storytelling that maybe not I've gone through, but like, people around me have, just so I can like, I put scenarios and shit into songs so everybody can feel it, so now everything is just about me, but like, so that other people can feel that and share that experience. Be like, damn, I've been through that type of situation before as well, which is cool, which makes it fun and which makes more people fuck with you and actually want to tap into your shit.
Yeah, I definitely try to take that angle with my stuff, touch people live. I feel like a lot of artists nowadays, especially people that are coming up in the scene in Chicago or getting recognized, I guess you could say, they're newer artists. They haven't really performed, and I could show you some videos after this. I'm not going to name any names, but you could tell these guys have never touched the stage, from the way that they hold a mic to how many words of their song they're actually saying, how different they sound from the song compared to their live. Like when they do all like that like when they pitch it up one and it kind of sounds like a baby voice.
Yeah,
And it's got like zero attack time, zero real time, zero everything.
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of like I describe it. They use their voice like an instrument, and I don't want to sit here and say it's bad because then I sound like an old head. But like, it's different, and the type of music that you're describing, and the type of music that I'd say I make, and the type of music that you make, it's not fitting in with what's popular right now. And like you said in the car, that's okay because it's generational. And like you said earlier, it's generational. But I say real music is timeless. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
And that's where I got like the whole real music for real people thing.
Yeah. Which is a dope brand name. Like that's fire. And it's true because it's just like, you know, like it's like, it's one of those genres of music, genres of rap. Like it's crazy with rap. It's just like, it goes through like all these different like phases. Like it's been popular. It's been I feel like it's been super popular since like that SoundCloud era, since like Chief Keef and all them. And it's just like, but like with rap, it just like keeps changing. Like it's like still rap, but it goes through all these different types of sounds. And like now we're like in that like crazy like underground type of sound. It's like that like Yeet, like these beats like Ken Carson, like.
And I'll admit, Yeet, Ken Carson, and Ian, like I talked about last week, all got way better at performing from when, we'll say when we first discovered them and we're probably maybe halfway paying attention.
Yeah, exactly.
So now,
yeah.
I know you're probably not paying attention, but if you like Yeet's Coachella performance this
shit
last
was fire.
weekend was crazy.
Yeah, that was fire.
Ian is playing the piano like Beethoven and shit, transitioning into his songs. And Ken Carson, I saw him at Summer Smash last year and had a great time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
no, I agree. It's dope. Like they're definitely like leading away in that like sound, and it's because they're different. I can be honest, like I probably didn't really like mess with that music when it came out, but like going back to like it takes time. With me with music, it's like if I don't like something when it comes out, I usually know I'm gonna like it in a couple months from now, because like I feel like if I really like something off the bat, then I'm just like I'm probably not gonna like it that much down the road. But like with them, it took time for me to like them, but I really respect like them, especially Ian too. Like honestly, like at first too with him, I was like, I don't know, because I saw that like snippet that he posted on I think it was like TikTok, and it was like so random. He like popped up out of nowhere, and I heard this song, and it was like that like underground type of song, and I was just like, I don't know if this shit's gonna stick, but like I mean, he really like proved himself over like the last year and a half and shit like that. I watched some interviews on him too, and like he's low key like a really good dude. It seems like he's like chill.
Producing before he's rapping.
Yeah, that's what I saw too. For like 2-3 years, and he said that it just like wasn't for him. He got back into making music, and shit took off.
So tell me a little bit about Ruckus. Tell me what's going on with that. What happened?
Dude, that's like that was a phase, bro. That was just like a shit you not. That was a song I think I made in 10 minutes. And it was just one of those like catchy beats.
You had like a little viral moment there.
Yeah, it was something. Like I had like did this like contest in Chicago. That's when I was like, I think it was like 18 at the time, and I was doing all these shows, and this was like a label competition type of show where like the best artists got like flown out to New York or whatever, and they got to go meet with a label. And I ended up winning that fucking contest. But like, long story short, like nothing was paid for. Like I ended up having to go myself, pay for my flight. And then like when I got there, like I was meeting with like Rock Nation, and like I ended up having to pay for the fucking A&R. And like the A&R like scouting, like I guess like interview, or not, I don't even know if it's an interview or whatever, but it was just weird. It was all just fucking fraudulent as hell. But I mean, like, you know, I was already in New York, and like, it was like last minute we were talking to the dude that was in charge of the event, and it just like, everything just like fell apart. But I was like, I'm fucking here now. Like, I gotta go do it at least.
The coast to coast thing?
No, it wasn't coast to coast. It was some other bullshit thing. I don't fucking remember what it was.
But what was the deal?
You all suck.
Yeah, for real, dude. Fucking money hungry scammers.
It was a 360?
Yeah, it was something crazy. Well, I was like young as fuck. I didn't like know what I was doing. I really, at that point when I like was there, I was only like 6 months into my music career. And it all felt too good to be true. I was like, this feels way too soon for me to be like even in this fucking room at Rock Nation. I mean, it was dope. I was in a record label building, like in a dope ass like room, yeah. And I remember getting into the room, and the A&R was like, "All right, play one song, and then that's it." And I was like, "Damn!" I was like, "I did $300 for a fucking scouting."
What'd you play?
I ended up playing like my whole album. I played the one song, and then he's like, "All right, play another, then play another, and then like yeah, and then it just like. He started like following me on Instagram, but like I knew there wasn't really gonna probably be like a deal there because like my numbers weren't adding up at that time at all. You know, like 6 months in, I probably only had like 2,000 monthly listeners, but shit was popping off really fast. And I think that's part of the fact of that was because like when you're a new artist, I feel like everybody just like taps into you, especially if you were consistent. And I was dropping music like every week at that point. But yeah, that's how that went. Fucking shit is lame as fuck though.
How old are you now?
23.
23.
23, yeah.
You started making music when?
It's probably like 18.
Okay.
18, yeah.
So how do you feel about reinventing yourself as an artist over time? And how do you deal with expectations in like yourself, or maybe how you feel about other people, maybe what they expect, or you know, just keeping up with that stigma in your head that we all have as artists?
Yeah. It's been like a lot of trial and error over the years, that's for sure. From when I started till now, I kind of was just like all over the place, kind of trying to figure out what was going to work, what's not going to work. And like I kind of just like revamped my whole entire brand over like the last year. Like when we all moved in together, because I live with him and I live with my manager, and he manages both of us. But everything changed then. That's like when I like dropped the Young from my name and just went by like Pasty. I created like a whole new artist account. I got rid of a lot of my old music too, just because like it was good, but like it's just like not who I am now, and I didn't want that. I didn't want that music to blow up before the new shit I put out now, because like you said, like it wouldn't make sense, and I would have been pretty pissed off about that. But yeah, just like this last year was a lot of like trial and error of just trying to figure out what works, what's not going to work, you know, trying to come up with a plan, like how do we get to where we need to go. And, you know, I'm just like now over like the last 2 months, I'm actually like starting to finally see like results, because like we're doing everything right. I feel like, you know, between with like what music we're going to drop. You know, we're going to put out a video for this, and just like when it comes to like marketing. And, you know, I'm glad I went through all the bullshit when I was younger with like dealing with scammers and shit like that, because I still get those DMs all the time. Like, hey, bro, fucking send me $300. I'm going to get you on a call with such and such. Like, no, you're not. You know, and it's crazy. Like, you know, the music industry is a fucking cutthroat industry. So it's like, you really got to like watch. You got to surround yourself by good people. Otherwise you will get fucked over real fast.
The ones that try to like drag you in, where they're like, oh, I like this song you made, and then you're like, thanks. And they're like, how long have you been making music?
Yeah, there you go. That's right. That's,
like,
you know, when it starts.
About this long. Yeah. And then they're like, oh, well, I do. And then they fucking drop it on you.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Have you guys got those ones where the girl is asking you to write like a song for her kid's birthday?
Yeah. I got that one.
I've gotten those twice. It's crazy.
Fuck you.
Me and JG's our manager. We got so hyped the first time that we got that message, because we were like, holy shit, they actually want this. And so I was getting ready to actually write the song, and then Joey, he's like, dude, you got to be careful, because they tried to scam me before on that. And I was like, damn, dude, my whole soul got crushed after that. I was
I got a dad that tried to DM me and say that shit, and I'm like, no way, really? Fuck you.
Should just send him some bogus ass shit.
Which one? The one that. No, that's real. Okay, that's real. No, because I was so heartbroken for a second. No, that was real. That seemed so cool. No.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. They'll do anything. Like, I just had somebody like a week ago.
Do anything for clout.
Yeah, do anything. Somebody like a week ago, bro. I think his Instagram name was like OVO Legend. And he had it. I don't know, it's fucking stupid, but like he DM'd me and he was like, "Oh, bro, the same type of shit." Started off with the conversation like, "How long you been making music? Your shit's dope." He's like, "I'm tapping in with you," and then it's some crazy shit though. Like these people, I don't know what they do. They like fucking tap the system of Instagram and they have it make it look like major artists are following them. Because I went on his following and it showed that Drake was following him. And he started sending me like these bogus ass screenshots. He's like, "I can get you locked in on a fucking call with Interscope Records tonight for $300. And I was like, "All right, bro. Sure. I'm sure you can." And they take that money. And as soon as you send over that payment, they block you. So watch out for that shit because that shit happens 24/7. Yeah. Especially if you don't know. Especially if you just started. I know, like, people get excited about that shit, but like.
Double Entendre was telling me on the way to the studio. He wouldn't tell me who, but he said someone scammed him for a feature for $1,000. Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
Even if it's a real artist, you know what I mean? If they're broke and off drugs or, you know what I mean, just fucked up. Like, I got 3 artists I can name off the top of my head between me and Dave where we were either owed verses for like over a year or 2 and never got it or just took forever to get it because they were like relapsing or just doing some stupid shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Grown ass men, bro.
Grown ass men now.
Grown ass.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like right now, I'm at the point right now, like
pathetic.
Yeah. I'm at the point right now where it's like I'm not even gonna try to work with a big artist. Like I want to work with local people around here, you know, and like I think that's the best way to do it until you work your way up. And it's just
so. Who have you been collabing with recently?
Just to be honest, just Wilmo. That's it. But like I'm down to collab with anybody. Like I was at a point where when we were like probably like a year ago where like people like hit me out to work and I was like, yeah, I got to charge. But then I kind of was just like, what the fuck am I charging for? Like, I'm not even that popular. So now I'm at the point where it's just like, I'm just doing shit for free while I'm still can. Cause I'm like, any publicity is good publicity, you know? Especially like if that person you're collabing with already has like a fan base and you get on a song with them and it's like, if people like it, then you got their fan base tapped into you. But like I said, like I'm down to collab with anybody.
It's a segment I made a little bit before we stopped for a little bit called Music Memories. And pretty much, I'll explain it to you. And for the people that don't know, listening, we're going to go back and forth. We could even do something cool where you do like a 3-person round. Usually it's 2. Mm-hmm. Since it's 3 of us, we could just do 2 rounds. But usually we'll go 3 rounds where I'll hand you my catalog and you'll just pick a song, whether you know my catalog or don't. Nobody's like offended here, you know what I mean? Like just based off of whatever you think, whatever you like, whatever you like off the rip, you know what I mean? As if I wasn't here, you just, well, check this one out. You click it. And then we won't listen to the whole thing on the podcast, obviously, but we'll play a little clip.
Yeah.
So if there's a music video, put the music video up. And then once the song's over, talk about the song. Tell me what you were going through at that time in your life. If there's a music video, bonus story about something that happened at the shoot.
Sure, I like that.
You go back and forth, and then,
I'm down. Let's do it.
There's no winner. It's just fun.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
This first song, first round, I'm picking 55 Chevy because it looks like it'll give me a good story. Hell yeah, 55 Chevy.
Yeah.
Tasty.
Let's go.
So tell me about it. Because when I told you I made a country song, that was way more country than the song I made. Let's hear about it.
Yeah, so that's dope that you actually picked that song. So yeah, that song, I made that song after my dad passed away. That song is basically revolved around, you know, him and like the car. He's got a fucking 1955 Chevy that I basically grew up in my whole life. He's had the car since like 1994. He bought it because I grew up around like old school cars and going to like car shows and shit like that. And it's always just like been like a huge part of me. Like I'm a car junkie, especially for old school cars. And, you know, and it's funny too, because he bought that car, like he saw it on some dude's driveway and he fucking was like on his way home from work and he like turned around and bought it and the dude just got out of jail, so he needed money, so he bought the car for like $3,000 or whatever, and like ended up like restoring the whole car and doing like all this shit to it, and it's just like been in my life forever. And like as far as I can remember being a kid, I was always like, damn, this is gonna be my car someday. And you know, and it's just like it's a really cool story because like that song means a lot to me. And the car itself is just like the car has a story behind it. You know, it's more than just a car. It's just like all the memories behind it, like growing up in that car, like doing stuff with him. It's really cool. Yeah, and like also it has to do with like growing up. I grew up, like I said, I grew up on rock music because my dad. That's all I like would listen to with him in the car when I was growing up. And I always thought they said lift up the mic. Yeah, so I grew up listening to rock music, and you know, one thing I never got to do before he passed away was like he would always tell me, he's like, you got to make a rock song, you got to make a rock song, because he's like, he wasn't the biggest rap fan, but obviously he supported me because I was his son. He loved music, and he just liked music too. I mean, there would be times he'd be coming home from work, just blasting my shit on the driveway. It was fucking hilarious. I'd be like in my room and I'd just hear you hear like that fucking bass pump, and you're like, is that my fucking song he's playing? But yeah, it's just like, so everything, it was a full circle moment for me when I made that song. And like, I was so excited to put it out, especially with like the visual behind it. Like everything turned out the way that I wanted. And I was really glad I got to do that too. Not only just do it for him, but just like for everybody in my family. When they saw that, they were like, it was really dope. And, yeah, now the car is mine. I take care of it like a motherfucker. It's like my baby, bro. But yeah, it definitely inspired me. That definitely kind of like started to inspire that like new sound. It's like a lot of people are like, they heard that song, they're like, this is like fucking country, rock, and rap all tied into one. And the feedback and response I got on it was really dope. I actually think it's my most popular song still.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely feel you.
Yeah.
I grew up with my grandparents, and I didn't really know my mom and dad. I know my mom nowadays, but like dad doesn't really like claim me as his son. So growing up with my grandparents since I was 4, and my grandpa passed away in 2016 when I was a sophomore. It was like a year before I started making music, before I really became friends with like Scooter and all them.
Yeah.
And I like damn near flunked sophomore year, and like we were talking about outside, like I went through it. That's when I got into drugs and started serving, and just like became a fucking, you know, like a jack off, bro.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
Eventually, and just because I was so young, I feel like that whole like longer stint we were talking about lasted a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Just because I was 16 at the time, but I did a whole lot of fuck shit, and it somehow turned into a bucket of fucking gold. You know what I mean?
It does.
And I would do it all again if I could at this point, just because of how much fruition and just how like great things have been. And like, I still have shitty days. And like honestly, bro, even telling you like 8 years now later from the incident, you think like, and then even growing up with the whole shit with my parents, like you think eventually your trauma book, like it ends, or like you close it and like you move on from that type of stuff. But like I promise you, every time that you try to close the book, somehow like the bookmark gets put back in there and you missed a few chapters, and like there's still a bunch of blank pages, and that book opens up.
Yeah.
You start filling out chapters, dude. Like even just this year, I was talking to this kid that was 22 the other day, and I don't mean to get off the topic of the segment, but I was talking to this kid, he's like, oh, I'm 22. And I started thinking, I was like, man, when I was 22, the shit that I was doing is like, now I'm 25, 26 this year. My life is nothing like it was when I was 22.
Right.
Like I've probably already lost 20 more people since then.
Yeah.
I'm in a whole different scenario. Like my life's 180. It's only 3 years ago. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then now to go from 25 to 28, like where will I be when I'm 28, bro?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Shit changes real fast.
And you don't realize it either. So like, it's just so fucked up, especially when it's somebody that's like super close to you.
It is, bro. That's what I'm saying. And
It
like,
changes you.
yeah, and it's like I'm just coming up on 2 years now, and like I really just started getting better probably like 6 months ago, where I could like actually really start to like focus on shit again. And it just like it takes time, bro.
You're still gonna go through it.
Yeah, you still do. It's like you said. It's just like once you think you close that book, you don't. It's always going to be there no matter what. Like time does heal shit, but like it's always going to be there. You always have those moments where you're just like, fuck.
The dude that raised me, I ended up putting him in diapers and then watched him die in his house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
he gave me his car too. It wasn't a fucking 55 Chevy. It was a fucking Buick Rendezvous.
Yeah.
But it was my first car.
That's
you know
sick.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly. It still
and
means
all
something.
the shit I did in that car, not only with him, like growing up, and then even a Ford Explorer before that, like all these memories, like you're saying.
Yeah.
So I relate to it in my own way, like you were talking about with the music.
Mm-hmm.
But and then to like have the car and then all the shit I did in it, and like I made that car a staple at my high school.
Yeah.
Everybody knew the Rendezvous.
Yeah. They know it's
They
you,
knew
bro.
the weed was coming through.
Yeah.
And they knew I was pulling up. But
That's so funny. It's
crazy.
It definitely, like you said, makes a staple on like who you are. Like now, whenever I drive that car around, people know that it's me. That's cool. That's cool. It carries on.
Got me bobbing on my own.
You pick not that guy.
I wish they sent me on the road.
Yeah, we gotta collab. That shit's so fire. Yeah. So
So that song pretty much, my buddy Stephen O'Coley, I convinced him to get into producing beats because he wanted to do something, not just like art wise, but like for the team, I guess you could say. But he wasn't sure how he could contribute. And I told him he should try to make beats. And he started on FL, but got really bored with it in like 2 or 3 weeks. And instead of cracking it like any sane person, he went out and spent $900 on Omnisphere just to like, and he said that his excuse was, because he said if he cracked it, he wouldn't use it because he didn't put in any work for it. So he paid for it so that he had to use it and not waste his money. So then he started making beats, and that was actually the first beat he made.
damn.
And it was like a splice melody.
Yeah.
I got the sample cleared, and then he made the beat. And then all around at the same time, started working with Justin Craig.
Yeah.
He worked with Juice WRLD a lot when he still lived in Chicago.
Yeah.
And then he's got T Grizzly, credits, G Herbo, a couple other people that he constantly works with. And I just started working with him and CB Mix, CB on the beat.
Yeah.
That he owns that studio, so getting beats from him too. But that nothing to do with this. Just started working with Jay Craig on mixing and recording myself, paying for sessions and stuff. I think this is one of the first handful of songs I made, like second, third, fourth song. But this was the first one we made when we were done. Kind of looked at each other and we were like, all right. You know what I mean? I think we figured out how to mesh with each other.
Yeah.
And got on like a roll with, how we wanted to work going forward. And it's been like 2.5, 3 years since then. Still making fire with him. So.
Yeah, that's dope. That's how it starts, bro. Like, and that beat is fire as fuck for his first beat too. That shit's crazy. That shit's dope.
Shout out Steve.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, Justin Craig.
I just started following him too, bro. Yeah, he followed me back. He's dope. I was peeping all his credits because I started following him because I saw that he mixed your shit. There's this other dope artist too. His name's like Sonoma the Kid. Yeah, he makes his shit too.
He's the one that did Lean with me, right? For Justoid?
Yeah, did he make the beat for that? No,
he
just
engineered and recorded it. But
Yeah.
he did Not Enough, the guitar beat.
yeah. Not enough. Yeah.
Cigarettes. Oh, that unreleased one remind me of the summer.
Yeah. Yeah. That's dope. That's a good ass story though too. Kind of like how everything starts coming together.
He showed me a 10-minute version of Suicidal with him and Melly that he mixed. Like the full studio session version.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's so dope.
Want something older or newer?
Too older.
Big Bad Guy by Wilmo. I feel like I have good picks here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that reminded me of a lot of the songs like I was talking about outside. Like when I said if we had to do something, it'd be just like that.
Yeah.
It'd have to be.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it's crazy that you said I sound like Davey because Zach showed me some of his music, and when I was listening to it, I was like, this guy reminds me of me. So it's kind of crazy. He is raw though. Man, it's crazy that you picked that. That was from like 3 years ago.
Yeah, 2022.
Yeah, and so my sound has changed like drastically. Like I sound so different now than I did then, and it's just wild. Like if you compare it to like the new stuff, it's crazy. But pretty much that song, that was written like right after I had broken up with this girl in college, and yeah, she had broken up with me. So I was pretty down bad. I was sad. And it was because, I was pretty shitty towards her. I just wasn't like treating her right. And I was just disrespecting her all the time and like going out and partying when she didn't want me to. And I was just pissing her off. So I was looked at as the bad guy. And like all of her friends were looking at me as the bad guy. So that's why I came up with that idea. And I was like, how can I play on that? Because in my head, like I'm really not the bad guy, but to them I am. So I just decided to make it about my viewpoint on it and how I see it and how I don't think I'm the bad guy. Really, I'm the one who needs to be saved and you're bad instead. So, yeah, yeah, that's pretty much what that's about. There's a lot of things in there. I mean, I pretty much write really like introspectively. So I look deeply into my mind and my views, and I kind of I play on that. So it's pretty cool when you do listen to it. You can really feel what I'm feeling through what I'm saying. But yeah, that whole era, because I had dropped a collection called Bad Guy too. So all those songs in there are from that era and from that viewpoint that I was in. But yeah, it's just that whole era was just like remorse and me feeling bad for the way I acted. But things change and we do better in life. But yeah, I'm proud of that one, and yeah, I've come a long way. It's really cool looking back because I usually don't listen to my old stuff much anymore. But yeah, I'm glad you picked that.
Yeah, that was gas. Make sure you guys head over to rmrpent.com. Check out our studio announcements. We got a studio coming soon in the downtown Aurora area. Make sure you book with any of the 5 of our engineers. You could also book without an engineer. Just go hang out. Fuck it.
Minimum 12 hours.
We got merch on there too. Justoid merch, RMRP merchandise, our all new RMRP flags. All new RMRP flags will be available for the next few weeks. Make sure you put your order in. Head over to RMRP ENT on Instagram. Artists, head over to RMRP ENT on Instagram. Check out the slots we got available. If you're trying to perform in the Chicagoland area, we got a lot of shows coming up. We got 3 in May, 3 in June, I think 2 in July so far. So plenty of opportunity for everybody. Local showcases, big stages with headlining names, everything, man. Come get involved. I'd like to give a huge shout out to Wilmo and Pasty for stopping by my crib, joining the Justoid podcast team today for almost an hour, chopping in about personal stuff, our music, how we feel about music, and everything above. Pasty, I appreciate you coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Wilmo, thanks for coming. Where can they find you online?
You can find me on all platforms under Pasty, PA $TY, Instagram, Pasty Music _.
How about you?
You can find me on Instagram everywhere, WILMO, Wilmo.
And it's the same for YouTube and everything too for you?
Oh, yeah. YouTube is Pasty Music. Same thing as Instagram, Pasty Music _, no $, because YouTube don't let me do that shit.
Get it. Yeah, what the hell, YouTube? Yeah. For everyone at home, stay up, stay blessed, and stay safe. Peace.
We out.
Sir.